up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with New Comic Book Day. What's going on, Perry? What's going on, Cyborg Dad Mystery? Luis Ramirez. What is going on? Las Cruces, 1971. What's up? What's up, Thomas? How are you? Thank you for joining today. You see, I got my Batman Run shirt on. Just got back from a bike ride. All pumped up. Weather's partly cloudy with a chance of rain next week. Thank you for calling. No, it's feeling fantastic outside after last week of just chills to the bone and not being able to get outside at all. To be able to finally get out there, go up to the comic book shop, get out there and ride the bike. Ben Compton, what's going on? David Ewing, hello, hello. Thank y'all for joining. And so finally, it seems that we're getting back to some semblance of normalcy at the comic shop and with shipping, at least with Diamond, that is, not with the USPS. But that's another story. Because I got to the comic shop today and picked up the new comic books. So the other day, I had new-ish comic book day. This is new comic book day. And they are some goodies. And I don't think I'm going to be disappointed. It started not to pick this title up, but I've been digging the short stories and the covers. And that's Batman Black and White, book number 3. They've got several iterations of these over the years, but been digging the stories. This is the Josh Middleton cover. So it's pretty sweet looking. And been liking that. I try to keep myself down and focus. I'm not too good at it, as you might know from watching my haul videos. But I try to keep myself focused with the main titles of Batman. And case in point, not so much. Batman, White Knight, Harley Quinn. I've liked all of Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight stuff. Just dug the way the story's laid out and played out. The Harley Quinn has been kind of light. I think he's letting his wife do it. No dig on her. She's just not him. I chose to get the cover he did, and there's the Red Hood. So we're finally going to see some maybe Red Hood action, hopefully. So that should be good. I think this is the last issue of Dark Detective Future State. This is a Brian Bolland cover. So Brian Bolland, known for that famous Joker cover, Killing Joke. And Wonder Woman covers, that kind of stuff. So thought this is the one that I decided to go with, and been pleasantly surprised with the 2 Batman titles there. Generations Forged. So kind of went with this, just kind of seeing where DC's going with their overall universe. As y'all know, I'm not a big DC aficionado. I know enough to be dangerous, at least when it comes to the Batman, which is a large part of the DC universe, right? But I was wanting to see, so it says from the pages of Dark Knight's Death Metal, Generations Forged. So this is kind of the spin out of that to see how they're going to do things. And they've got some top-notch talent on it. Dan Jurgens, Robert Venditti. I'm not sure about the other ones. They might be great. But yeah, so it's got the classic scene of Batman getting his back broken, Supergirl dying, the death of Superman. Of course, Dark Knight Returns up there. So it's kind of a thicker book. We'll see how it goes. Connecticut Comics. What is up? Then we've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and so this details the Omega Rangers. I wasn't really sold on any one of the covers, so I decided to do the Legacy numbering variant there. So that's issue 63. Picked up Bloodshot number 11, just because I had to have some Valiant in here somewhere. And one thing about Valiant is on their books. Let's see. I want to see here. Of course, Tim Seeley is still writing that. Okay, it's a different artist than what I thought. Okay. But yeah, so their covers are smoother. They're probably not to the level that maybe Boom does, but they're certainly way better than Marvel's covers where you just get color rub all the time. But yeah, Bloodshot number 11. Crossover number 4. This is kind of maybe the homage to Giant Size X-Men. Maybe a loose homage, but one nevertheless. And this has been a fun read. We'll see how it continues on. I don't think that this is a long running one. If it is, Donny Cates is going to get himself into a pickle writing so many titles. Because once your mind becomes so divided amongst all the different stories and storylines, and because he can't really connect them all, being outside of these universes, being in the Marvel universe as opposed to the Spawn verse, which is something he's going to be doing. I would not be surprised if Donny Cates ends up getting some kind of deal with Image, where he's maybe part owner, kind of like Robert Kirkman or something. But we'll see. Maestro Number Two. This is Warren Pax. I kind of cooled off on this series. The prequel that was before, which was kind of telling how Maestro came into being. And then when the new one came out, they knew how to lure me back in with those Del Keown covers and Peter David writing it. So there you go. And plus, I've been kind of on this Hulk kick lately. Thomas, burnout. Exactly right. You just start running out of gas at some point, and the wires start crossing and all that. Oblivion Song 30. This is going to be, I'm sure, coming to an end. This is Robert Kirkman doing this, talking about somebody who has a lot of writing chops. That's Robert Kirkman too. Let's see. It didn't give a preview for the next one. Okay, no, it does. There's issue 31, available in June. Dang. Way off. And then this is probably talking about people being burnt out or stretched too thin. Robert Kirkman on Oblivion Song. So Oblivion Song is taking longer now. And then, of course, I'm sure he's somewhere involved in the whole Invincible comic series that's coming up. Invincible comic series that's coming up. And he's probably involved in that. All the things going on with Walking Dead, which makes him a lot of money. I'm sure he's involved with that. He does that. And then now he has Firepower, which is another series. Where's my Firepower? Did I not get Firepower? Holy crap. I thought Firepower somebody help me out here. Did Firepower come out this last week? Captain Beardo, what is going on? Barbarian Kung Fu, what is going on with you? Have a growing pile of Valiant books for you. Whenever you get a chance, shoot me your shipping info. All right, well, I'll hit you up on IG. Thank you, sir. Let's see. I ain't seen that. Phil Ailing, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? Let me see. I'm going to pull up my emails here and go to Comic Commander, which is the name of my comic shop. All right. Commander. Whatever. I hate when that thing's gonna tell me that there's no emails with that. Okay, whatever. Okay, so there's next week's pulls. Okay, so what about this week's? There's Oblivion Song. Something killing children. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I was off. Maybe I saw the old one and I had already gotten it. Okay, whatever. Sense of disturbance in the force. Okay, yeah. It didn't. I guess I was getting mixed up. Maybe I saw a copy on the shelf and it threw me off because he normally doesn't order enough of books like that to keep them on the shelf. Only $60. Wow. You got to hand it to Todd McFarlane. I'm not a huge Todd McFarlane fanboy. I can certainly appreciate his work, certainly appreciate what he's done for the community at large. I just, not a huge fanboy. Having said that, yeah, I mean, this guy's got marketing prowess and chops with his toy line, with his, comics. I mean, he still charges only $2.99. So Marvel and DC, answer me this: how is it that they charge $2.99 for Spawn, and he's not losing money on it? So he's still able to make money at $2.99, and here we are. DC's fixing to come back from future state at a higher price point, and Marvel's soon to follow. Firepower 9, March 3rd. Okay, thanks. Maybe I sent it for this week. Maybe that's what it was. While I was thinking about Firepower. Yes, we don't want to miss Firepower. Firepower's a good title. Another good title is Something is Killing the Children, number 15. And I imagine that this is one that is going to be soon wrapping up as well. Something's Killing the Children. Is this it? Is that how it ends? I don't know. Well, I'm not going to show it for y'all if y'all haven't read it yet. If you haven't read Something's Killing the Children, go ahead and pick that up. Dope series, especially like the Jenny Frizen covers. The Todd Father Rules, Freaky Louie's up in the house. Grabbed up 7 copies of number 15. Yeah. I mean, I looked at this cover and I was like, meh. Okay, whatever. And but yeah, I mean, it's dope series. So we'll see how long things going. Number 16. Oh, okay. So number 16 is coming in 2 months. See, y'all are on top of things. Then we've got X-Men number 18. So these 3 cats right here. We've got Sync, who's been dead since Generation X many years ago. X-23 and Darwin go into the vault, and time travels differently in the vault. So they went in the vault like early on, and just now coming to, I think they got with the COVID shutdown and with all the other storylines that they were wanting to do. I think this part of the storyline just kind of got put on the back burner. So we'll see how it goes. X-Men's been a fairly consistent title. I didn't say it was consistently great, just said it was consistent. But I think I've said this before, but what I was hoping for, is see if you would have put Cable in this mix, and then Cable came back older because time travels differently inside the vault. It wouldn't have affected Laura because she's got the healing factor. Darwin wouldn't have been affected because he adapts, and then syncs with those other people's power, so it wouldn't have affected him either. And so that would have been cool. Then we got Wolverine 10. We got Kubert, I forget which one it is, Adam Kubert on the art. And then we've got Ben Percy on the storyline. And so Wolverine, as far as the X family of titles, has been one of the consistent ones. X-Force, another Ben Percy writing, has been consistent as well. And so this I was kind of reading some of the reviews. It's just a knockdown action, type deal. Not a lot of backstory, but we'll see. Maverick, one of the one of the characters from back in the day, and then he got the legacy virus, which Strife, Cable's clone, had put out, and was one of the people that actually died and stayed dead. Traveling Root Beer, what's going on? So yeah, it's fun story. I wanted some of the Finch covers, both for X-Men as well as for Wolverine, but unfortunately, I think there were 1 in 50s maybe, and my shop doesn't order enough of those. And I don't want them enough to go someplace expensive like eBay or for Mile High Comics or something like that. Shiny, what's up? What's up? And show you what else I got in the mail today. Exo Manowar half. I got this off of eBay, and I'm not sure as to why the seller would not give me another option for shipping other than to ship FedEx. That sucks. C. Woodard, what's up? C. Woodard. I got some Turtle books from C. Woodard the other day. It was Turtle Saturday last week, C. Woodard. I bought those books from you and then showed up at that show and ended up buying two number two second prints. Wow. Two. Bought all of those and sold one of them like right when I got back. I circled the booth, bought one, and then came back to another one, found a better one, and kept it. So yeah, these are the gold full editions. Unfortunately, they don't have the certificate of authenticities. However, it's like what? I mean, they're not fake. Who's going to fake a wizard? Wizard comic here. Let's see. I was looking. Yeah, these came after Jim Shooter was already gone from Valiant because I'm in April going to the Huntsville Comic Con, and I'm going to be meeting Mr. Shooter, and I've got a box load of stuff for him to sign. I need to get issue 2 third print at some point, settled for a second print myself for now. Yeah, the first print has then got astronomical on that one. So I have a third print. The third print is the one with April O'Neil, the first April on the cover. I've got that one. So the only ones that I like now, I don't know that I'll ever go for or have a number 1 first or second print. I've got a third print, but the only ones that I need now to have all of them aside from number 1 is the number 2 first print, which looks just like the second print. The number 3 second print. Yeah, so the number 3 second print, that looks a little different. And then the number 4 second print, it's a misprinting. It actually is a different cover altogether. So those are the only 3 I need, and then I have all the printings except for outside number 1. Mars Comics, what is going on? A 4-year-old just rolled up with grapes, sat down next to me and said, "Tell him Madison says hello." Okay. William Smallwood, what's up? Madison, hello, how are you? Hopefully you are doing fantastic out there, eating your grapes. Maybe they're seedless grapes and you will not get seeds stuck in your teeth. Because seeds stuck in your teeth are really bad because then you have to go home and you got to brush your chops, and then everybody's sitting there making brushing your teeth. Okay, all that stuff. The second print 4 is at the top of my want list. Yeah, for sure. All right, so then I got some more books in the mail, and I had forgotten that I had ordered these from a guy named Comic Fanatic. Goes by Comic Fanatic on Instagram. And so Comic Fanatic had some stuff on the cheap, and I bought these for the Varangian Vigilante. He is a Conan fan, for those of you who don't know him. He's a Conan fan, and I just mailed him a package off yesterday, and then lo and behold, look what comes in today. So I told him it would have to be the next go around. But yeah, so since I've got them right here, I'll go ahead and show them to you. Conan 57. Got Conan 148. Look what this is. I thought when I picked it up, I said, man, that thing's kind of thick. A Mark Jewelers. It was funny. I was on a auction last night, and every Mark Jewelers I threw up, everybody was picking them up, which, you know, I like them. You know, if I had a choice against one having it versus not having it, I would, of course, pick the one that had it. But yeah, it's just one of those flavor things. But I bought a whole bunch of books in Atlanta. If Barbarian Kung Fu is up in the house still, I bought it from Dave's other shop. And I bought a whole bunch of Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Mans. And whoever they had those comics from, they had like 4 or 5 copies of most of them. And a lot of them were Mark Jewelers editions. So we got Conan 116. The Crawler and the Mist. We got 113. Got 112. 111. I'm really only working on the very early Conan, like to 124, 127, whenever Barry Windsor Smith gets off the title. 109. 108. It's no use, Conan. Even you can't outrun the devourers of Barthar. Watch me. We've got to get to the chopper. What? Wrong movie. Okay. Then we've got 104. The night wings of death haunt the vale of lost women. Okay. Then we've got Conan 67. Tara, where are you, girl? She's in here, barbarian. Come and get her. Meow. I wonder if he's kin to the Thundercats. Then we've got Conan 65, and The Rage in the Land Before Time. The Land Before Time? Yep. Then we've got Conan 64, The Fiends of the Feathered Serpent. Dun, dun, dun. And then we've got 62, Death in the Land of Dagon. Dun, dun, dun. He got two. This is the night of the killer moth, and when it ends, Conan must still face Amara, the savage one. It's 61. Then we've got 60, Riders of the River Dragons. And then we got 59, War in a World Below. Never before revealed, Song of the She-Pirate, the awesome origin of Belit. And then the harder to get ones, that is 257. That's Cooling Gath right there. 257 is towards the end of the run, and those are kind of harder to get. So all of those have been spoken for. I told you earlier that I've been getting on this Hulk kick as of late. And so I haven't been going after books, so to speak. But if they landed in my lap, if I had, could get them on the cheap, if I was buying something else already, I would pick them up. So this is the Incredible Hulk 251. Whatever happened to the 3D man? I guess we'll find out here. We got 252. Beware the changelings. Hulk doesn't look too happy. We got 302. Purple, where he was Purple Underwear Hulk. There for several issues, he was Purple Underwear Hulk as opposed to Purple Pants Hulk. I guess it was probably more convenient than buying pants every time. You just have that spandex, You know what I'm saying? We got 308. This is a Mike Mignola cover. Hulk from 1985. Then we've got Hulk number 310. And we got Incredible Hulk 364, Countdown 4. Part 1 of 4. And this is a Walt Simonson cover there. And it seems like maybe number 4 is the one, or maybe the one before this is the first Gray Hulk, Smart Gray Hulk, or something. There's something to do with it. Because he's already Gray Hulk here. He's fighting the Abomination, which is incidentally probably one, if I'm going to get Hulk, probably need to go after, just because the Abomination and Leader. Happy birthday, Captain Comics. He got me. Legion, what is up with this, man? Every time I'm showing off Hulk books every time you show up. I think you're a bad influence on me or something. So, ME Comics, what's going on? I just sent you back a DM, man, earlier. So one of the ones that I need to get is the first appearance of the leader and the first Abomination, or first cover Abomination, second appearance of Abomination, because those are definitely going to go up, especially after how things move these days in the market, which are largely based on rumors, movie appearances, TV appearances, the like. You want to do it before She-Hulk appears. That's for two. And so you missed it. You probably missed it, Mark, earlier. I was showing off these. Of course, that, Bert can be proud of me for that. Is Generations Forged. Have you read this? And then the Dark Knight Future State, the Brian Bowling cover. And then I've got the Harley Quinn. And then Batman Black and White, number 3. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 DC books. Look at that. 4 DC books and 2 Marvel books. So I got 4 DC books, 2 Marvel books, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 indies. And that is kind of how my collecting is going. Marvel is I got Generation Shattered. I got the Lee Bermejo cover on that. But yeah, so that's kind of how I'm leaning, because if you do CLZ, I don't know for all of those you who keep up with your comics on CLZ, but they recently had a update to their app, which I really liked. You could do this on the web-based version of it, but you couldn't do it previously on the app-based version. But now it'll divide it out on the app based on the publisher, the character that appears the most in those comics, and those type of things. So I was looking at that. Marvel is by far the most, which kind of makes sense, because if you think about my X-Men and X-Men related collection, that's the biggest one. I have as many Valiant as I do DC. And you could look at it one of two ways. You could say, well, daggum, that's a lot of Valiant. But at the same time, you could say, well, that's a lot of Batman, because that, in large part, 99% of my DC is Batman related. So there is that. But yeah, so those are the 3 big publishers for me. And then it breaks down. You got Boom and Image and all those kind of things, which I collect a lot of the Image, early 90s Image stuff, like Wildcats and Pit and things like that other people, scoff at. But, that's my collection. So, but yeah, so Boom is putting out a lot of good content. Valiant, not as much anymore. They just don't have as many titles anymore, but Image is starting to come up strong. I've never been a Spawn person, but some of that Spawn stuff is kind of intriguing to me, so we'll see how it goes. If I'm going to be dropping, because I've dropped several of the X-Men titles. I pick up X-Men. I pick up, well, let me talk about what I don't pick up. I don't pick up New Mutants. I don't pick up Excalibur. And I don't pick up Marauders. Those are the 3 main ones that I don't pick up. So I dropped those. There's some indie stuff that has come to an end. Some Batman, like Batman's Grave, that's come to an end. Things like that. Well, Valiant tends. This is the waxing and the waning and the waxing of Valiant is okay. Somebody that knows what they're doing shows up, grabs a great team of people, and builds it great. Jim Shooter, Valiant's story, right? So Valiant goes through this, so on and so forth. falls by the wayside into bankruptcy. Dinesh comes and does the exact same thing Shooter did, except he lasts a little bit longer. But he built out the third largest connected universe, built it out, fantastic stuff. Robert Venditti, Miko Sion. I mean, just the list goes on and on about Matt Kent. I mean, just great creators. He gets out. Now where they got again. So Heather Antos hadn't got a clue about how to pour somebody's coffee, let alone lead a publisher. And so she surrounds herself with people that will say yes to her. So she's not going to be any good. But what is Dinesh doing? Well, Shooter's basically, for all intents and purposes, retired now. But with Dinesh, he's creating bad idea. Obviously, the jury's still out on how that's going to work out, but he's building a lot of hype around it with just a few people. But he's able to pull in top tier talent on just a few books. It tells him that the problem wasn't him, it was Valiant. Yeah, I've heard some good things about We Live. I'm going to end up having just to get that in the trade because I think they're 5 or 6 issues in. Let's see. Every Aftershock book seems to get optioned for every Indies thing gets optioned. It doesn't mean it'll ever get created. Oblivion Song got optioned just because they know, hey, this is Robert Kirkman and he's building this world out. What did we do with Walking Dead? We made a bunch of money, and so they optioned it. That doesn't mean they'll use it. Obviously, they're using the Invincible property of his now, so that's good for him. We'll see if Oblivion Song gets the same treatment. 5 issues in, that was a whole run. Okay, so it is probably just as easy just to buy the trade then. Picked up 5 copies of The Nuclear Family. Just cross my fingers that gets picked up too. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and these publishers know it. The margins for comic books are so thin, right? So the real place where you make your money is toys or licensing, movies, licensing of any kind, not just toys, but movies, and that's where you make your money. So that's why a lot of times they write to that. Some people would argue that that's good, or some people argue that that's bad. I sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, is what I would say to that. But the thing about it is, it's the reality of it, and they know that, so they're out there. And Valiant did the same thing. There's a web based movie that you can watch, and it's Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, in which Jason David Frank plays Bloodshot, and so they use that to say, hey, this is what you can do. We did this on a shoestring. What could you do with a big budget? And that's how they pitched it to Sony, as who had them. So that was kind of the deal there. I feel like Kirkman's Firepower is written just like I'm watching it. Yeah. Donny Cates stuff does the same thing. Crossover, if you're reading it, that's how you're reading it. To me, you're reading it, and it's like it's still good, but it's just like, yeah, that's what you're getting. And let a book be a book. It's like, why? Think about this. These properties that the Marvel Universe is using right now. When these properties were the pages that these stories are ripped from were done, they had no clue that any of this would happen. They just try to write good stories, right? That people would buy and people would read. And guess what? They make it work. So it's not like you have to. And all these studios, especially those studios outside of Disney ones, are looking, clamoring for the next greatest thing. And since Disney is doing so much with Marvel right now, guess what? Everybody else is wanting to do it too. Sony is going to make another Bloodshot. Unfortunately, they sold off the rights to the Harbinger film to Paramount. I don't know. It's bad in the sense that that means there's not going to be a connected universe because they're not going to probably play well together, like Sony and Marvel have to do now with Spider-Man. It's kind of like share parental rights after a divorce. It just doesn't work really well sometimes. But we got Shamaro Cinema. What is up? What is up? Oh yeah, definitely has a hype train. Sometimes it lives up to it, and sometimes it don't. And right now he's driving the hype train so much because he's been hitting on all cylinders. But there's going to come a story that's going to have lackluster sales, and then they're going to say, well, he can miss too. He can miss too. And it's nothing against him. Everybody, hit and miss, right? Not every one of them is a winner, but he hasn't been riding long enough to really have those misses like that. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I've got some moderators. I think Mark. I think you are. If you're not, I'll make you one. But I've got moderators in the chat, and then I typically oh, you're not? Okay. Well, I'll see about making you one. But as far as that goes, I try to watch the chat. Instead of just rambling on, I'm watching the chat as I'm talking. I have had a couple of people like that come in to a chat, and I just shut them down. Where's my wrench? Where's my winch? Oh, no, that's not what you said. Let's see. How do you do that? There's a way that you can do it. There's a way you can do it from here, but I don't know how. So, I had one guy come in. Oh my goodness. Click. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you another one. Oh yeah, it is so. I right clicked on your name. I don't know. But anyways, I had a guy, or the Alexander dude that comes in and says, "Oh, Watchmen is horrible. NCU is gross." All this kind. I just shut him off. I don't want to hear it. Some people ignore him. I don't have no patience for it. I mean, he's more than likely a bot, and But then it was funny because last week, somebody was like, "What's wrong with Alexander? Where's Alexander at? Y'all don't love him. Y'all are so mean and so cruel." And so I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's take you out of here." It's like what? And they changed their name from like day to day, and one of them I said, "Are you Alexander?" "No, I'm not Alexander, but I'm his friend. And I'm worried about him." Yeah, I'm sure you are. Well, talking about Legion of Comics is only 10 subscribers away from hitting 500, folks. Go ahead and subscribe him up if you haven't already, so he'll have to give away something. Okay, yeah. So there's my band list right here. The Punisher, Captain Midnight Hour Pro, and Alexander, all on the band list. There you go, Mark. You should be good now. Well, of course he did, because he's whatever. Yeah, thanks, Ladron. Wonder what the point of them trolling. Yeah, there's no money in it except for if they can catch you saying something that you shouldn't be saying, they can report you. And I think that's what their main deal is. They're trying to provoke people. If you know, not to go all political on people, but if you do your homework and don't listen to the media about it, everything that you believe in life, you'll know that the vast majority of all these protests and stuff, they were outside antagonists. They weren't the people that live right there in the thick of everything. They weren't hometown folks that were tired of police departments or whatever they wanted to boycott that day. And so they were outside antagonists that were coming in and getting arrested, and other people were bailing them out. Money people. Okay, so they were outside trying to antagonize things. It's funny that oh yeah, for sure. And it's funny because you know, in a state like Mississippi, where supposedly we have such an age-old problem, you know, we didn't really have all the riots that all these other places did. Wonder why? You know, because you know, at the end of the day, regardless of what they say, that the vast majority of people in this life just want to be left alone. They just want to be left alone. They want to do their thing. They want to go their way, and they want to be treated like other people treat them. And if people follow that rule, I have no problem. Oh man. But yeah, and you know, they might not even be, you know, American. I mean, there might be some kind of a deal to try to steal your identity type thing. I know I've read before that those people that I'm just letting you know this, Legion, just in case you know you don't want to click on this person, but like those ladies that answer to your thing saying that they're extremely lonely. I don't think they're really lonely. They really want. What they're lonely for is because they want your personal information. And I read somewhere that if you click on a link or something that they send, that's it kind of hijacks your computer. Who knows? Exactly. Exactly. It's funny because, you know, I wouldn't call myself a libertarian to the point of pacifism where the world burns down around me. But it's like and the Libertarian Party, if you want to go political, and we're going to back up to comics in a sec, but, you know, the Libertarian Party, the reason why they never gained ground was one of the reasons why, because they put fruitcakes up there. But then they say, oh, I can't vote for a libertarian. I got to vote for a Republican or Democrat. It's like, why don't you just vote for the person you feel like best represents your views, is best for the country, regardless of whether they have an R or D behind there. You know, exactly. And so that's kind of what, yeah. And you know, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, Ross Perot. And he did exactly, but if you think about though that day and that age, and case in point, I was watching a clip from David Letterman and Rush Limbaugh. You know, Rush Limbaugh recently died, and David Letterman was interviewing Rush Limbaugh because he had wrote a book. These are two guys that were diametrically opposed to each other, but they were able to laugh, kind of poke fun at each other. And at the end of the day, just laughed and shook hands. It was a much more civilized age than what we are in right now. I mean, Clinton, as an example, would you ever have imagined, or people in the 90s ever would have imagined, people being that Clinton seeming like he was the conservative? But that's what it is today. If you look at Clinton's policies and the things that he pushed, aside from Monica and that cigar, the things that he pushed, he looks like a conservative. JFK looks like a conservative, for crying out loud. JFK looks like a conservative if you put it out there. It's like, what? Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, keep third parties out. That's it. Tell them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right, and it's like this stigma. If you say you're libertarian. Well, I'll tell you an example of this, and then we're going to get back to the read of the week. So, I didn't vote for Trump the first time, and so since it's my channel, I can still say that I voted for Trump the second time, right? But anyhow, I didn't vote for him the first time because I felt like he was not going to espouse what he was claiming to espouse. Typical politician, right? Now, I don't necessarily agree with how he went about some of what he did, but I do agree pretty much with, what he did, policy wise. But, I told some people that are staunch Republicans, I told them that I didn't vote for him the first time, and they were like, "What? What? Why would you vote for him?" I was like, "What did you know about him before, except that he was a womanizing billionaire?" Well, I'm not voting for a pastor in chief. I'm voting for a commander in chief. Okay. Well, did you have that same synopsis when Clinton was in office? Because that's the deal is if you have legitimate lines and guidelines for your life, guess what? It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what your friends say or don't say. They're your definitive lines. It shouldn't move. Shouldn't move. So if you're going to hold your guy to that, the other guy to that standard, you got to hold your guy to that standard. Did you miss the comics? What's going on, Jonathan Roach? He's like, come on, give me some comics, man. As Travel and Root Beer says, I'm trying to grab it out of the comic. I picked up that backstage. Yeah. Yeah. So talking about this, I have not read these as of yet, but showing what I show, what do y'all think is going to be my picks? So I've shared this before as far as when I get new books and seeing if I want to cull something out. No. But when I want to cull something out, I say, okay, what am I most excited about reading? So let's order that in that order. How about that? So we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. We're going to put that probably right there and that right there. And we'll put that right there. So, okay. So, this is what I'm most excited about reading this week. So, if y'all have already read it, no spoilers now. But if you have already read it, be sure to tell me if I'm doing the right order here. But this is the one I'm most excited about reading. This one right here. Again, if you're not reading Robert Kirkman's Oblivion Song, go ahead and pick it up on trade. It's a really good read. Batman Black and White. Just been digging the stories and the artists and that they put together. Of course, Dark Detective is the kind of the surprise sleeper hit. Children died. Yeah, I imagine they did. Driving through no man's land, losing signal. Oh no! No! I'm picking up Berserker, but I'm not picking up that 1 millionth, one in 1 million. So something killing children, great. So it's kind of the sleeper hit because I wasn't expecting to pick these up, and I ended up doing it anyway. Power Rangers. This is kind of a sleeper too because haven't been on the Power Rangers the whole time. Kind of got on right before they split off, but this is the one that I'm liking more than the other one. The not so much the Harley Quinn as I am the Black Batman White Knight saga, if you will. X-Men. Now this is saying something, right? That a Marvel X-Men title is so far down the list. Marvel, hello. Oh yeah, I for sure know how to. I know how it is. Power Rangers have been good for old school fans and jump on for new readers as well. Yeah, yeah. It didn't take me that long to catch on. So for somebody who has every volume of Uncanny X-Men and the volume of the regular titled X-Men, as well as X-Men Legacy and X-Men Gold, Marvel, pay attention. There's just a lot more better stuff out here. Of course, you have the Valiant staple title of Bloodshot, Generations Forged. I don't know enough about it to say it should be higher up. Maybe at the end of the day, when I read it, it will be better than what I anticipated, and I would have wished I put it up. Same way with any of the other ones. For Maestro down there at the bottom, crossover right there. But yeah, so I mean, if crossover is the big hit, I mean, you saw crossover was the end of the spectrum, but there was a lot of good books this week. So I started off thinking that it was going to be not a big week. It was a big week last week. The X-Men was it X-Men Legacy? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I said that earlier. So Generation Shattered. I got the Lee Bermejo cover on that, and yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Power Rangers is underrated. So, to me, and that's the reason why I like this one as opposed to the other one. What's going on, Kenneth Bird? How are you? This is why I like the other one as opposed to this one is because the difference in at the end of the day, they're Power Rangers. They fight bad guys. They win in the end, right? But the old one is like very old school. So if you think about the first run at it, if you feel like the first run at it, they fight putties and all that kind of stuff. That's the other Power Rangers title. This one, and the reason why I like it is because it's got different aspects to it. I'm going to different space worlds that I'm not used to. Lord Dakin's in there, something else I wasn't used to. So that's the reason I like the Mighty Morphin title better than the other one. Freaky Louie, what is going on? Not to say the other one's bad, and I have been picking it up because of the Green Ranger reveal. But Boom Studios overall has just been killing it. They're bringing the firepower. They're showing that if you do comics right, and if you look at Ross Ritchie is a huge comic book fan, and that's why he has a well-run comic book company, because he gets it. He gets what fans want, and that's why they sell books. But when you put people in charge that are never, that are not interested in what you are selling, it's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard to do. Shamara says, wouldn't fill in Department of Truth this week. First time that's happened. I jumped off the Department of Truth bandwagon. I just never could. The first issue was good enough for me to get to issue 2. Issue 2 was lackluster at best, and the third issue threw me off. That was the one talking about the school shooting. Crap. I forget the name of it. It was up there in the north. But the school shooting up there, and I was just like, it doesn't interest me. The art never could. As much as Tinian knows what he's doing, obviously with Something's Killing the Children, Batman, and other titles he's doing, I just couldn't get on board with Department of Truth long enough to keep it going, because and there's just so many other good titles, right? So many other good titles. I gotta figure out a way to say, let's get the trade, or let's read it digitally if it's something that I don't want to collect, because everything I read I don't have to collect, right? But the problem is when I buy it in a floppy, I always want to keep it. If I read it, I want to keep it. and unless it's just like so bad it makes me want to throw up every time I look at it. And I've had books like that before. We won't go into which ones those were, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I want to keep them, and so I got to figure out how to balance that out. Sandy Hook, yeah, that's it. Oh, John Jang, yeah. Yeah, and when I was a kid, and I'm sure most of y'all were the same way, but there was no indies. Now, some of you are young enough to remember Image. Image was available for you at that time, but Image really hadn't hit its stride until more recent years. Because Image was really just trying to be cookie cutter Marvel DC for the first few years, which makes sense. The people that were writing the titles every month, that were going out there and putting it together, that's where they came from. It wasn't until later that they said, "Hey, we got to do something different to kind of differentiate us in the market." They brought Kurtman on. Kurtman convinced them to bring Walking Dead, and the rest is history, as they say. But since then, they've added other titles, so they've kind of got more of a different niche. I mean, it's different stories. But you get Kurtman's titles like Oblivion Song, Firepower, Walking Dead. You got the age-old Spawn title and Savage Dragon titles that are still going with there. But now you got crossover, you got other Image titles that have sold a lot of books, and so Image is there, but it hasn't always been that way. Yeah, it was the big two, and so you just ate what they fed you. You just ate what they fed you, and but now you've got Boom, you got Aftershock. Valiant still tries to find something somewhere, but you have so many small, Mad Cave. You got so many small companies out there that are bringing good work that competes with anything that the big two are putting out. So, at that point, you go, hey, the only difference is that you're not as connected with those. So they don't really tickle the nostalgic funny bone like a Marvel or DC comic. See, Marvel and DC can lean in on that nostalgia and sell books via just that. The other ones have to bring good stories. And I think it benefits the company when they don't have to worry about good stories. They can just hire cheap writers. But the other stories, they got to bring their A game, right? Because for you to take and you're $3.99 a book, and instead of giving it to them, give it to the indie guy, they got to bring their A game. And I think that's why we're getting such good content. Think it's fantastic. Dinesh knows what he's doing, can hire and attract the right talent, and I think they're going to do big things. I understand why they're doing it the way they're doing it, but it's going to. I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think that he's doing that to cause supply and demand. Because look what they did with Hero Trade, right? He just up and sent that to several different stores. They didn't even know what it was, and that thing's like over $1,000. Okay, so he's building up hype. Hopefully, it'll live up to that hype with the talent that they got on those books. They only got a few books. I'm not sure if they're trying to do a connected universe or not, but they only got a few books, and so they're kind of concentrating on that, and they'll build out. So he is a guy that really loves. He's like Ross Ritchie. He really loves comics. I've seen some of his art that he has. Anybody that knows people in the Valiant comic collector community, he was always well liked. So he's going to bring good things. And so, case in point, I called a comic shop that was approved because they had to be approved or get on the list. There was only a select few. There was one, fortunate enough for me, that's only 2 hours from me. So I do enough business down that way that I can, go once a month and pick them up. And that's all they asked. But I got on the pull list for all 5 or 6 titles, and they're not releasing more than 2 in a month's time. So I'm getting them all. We'll see how it goes. But ever since really the '90s with Image and those guys, we're more. I say we. I'm talking about the comic book community. I think that we're more cognizant of creators, their names, and giving titles a chance just simply based on the creator's name. So if we look and say, oh man, there's Jim Lee as an example. Okay, I'm going to give his book a shot because I love the way he draws. Or there's Robert Venditti. The guy knows how to write stories. If Robert Venditti's on it, I'm going to give it a shot. I might not know anything about the character. And that's good for the creators, right? Because then the creators can go out there, do their own, create their own properties, come up with their own stories, and, provide for them and their families as opposed to the big corporations. So that's good for them. But I think that we've gotten more cognizant of that. At least I have, and giving those people. Whereas just because I see Wolverine on something doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. So, and just because I see Batman on something doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. I buy a lot of it, but I don't buy all of it just because it's got Batman on it, because some of it's just bad. It's like using Batman's name in vain or something because it's just horrible. DC thinks that in this example, Marvel does it all the time with the X-Men, but they think that all they got to do is throw the character out there and you'll buy it. And some people do. And, they can hire cheap talent and don't have to pay them nothing, and they're better off for it. What's going on, Lady Fantastic up in the house? Well, it has been an hour, and you've heard me rant from everything about politics to comic books to everything else. It's one of those rants, but I do appreciate everybody for stuff. Yeah, you were. Yeah, but I mean, I was used to it by now. I was used to you being late, so no big deal. But no. So be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell notifications so that when videos like this drop ever so randomly. Saturday, 1:00 p.m. Central Time. If you're looking for some inexpensive books, come hang out with us on the Saturday morning cartoon crew. We're going to have a cast of characters on there, and we're going to aim to please. So hopefully you will join us for that. Also, I will have a video dropping. I got some more Walmart packs, and that video will be dropping Monday on this channel. Again, it's a good reason to hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of this or have to remember it per se. But Monday, I'm going to be talking with Jimmy, the Geek Aficionado, Big Wheel Comics, about the Huntsville Comic Expo that's coming up April the 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'm going to be talking about the creators, the people that are going to be there, what books I'm getting signed, and all that kind of good stuff. And that is another good chance for you if you're looking for somebody to do your pressing. Jimmy has graciously offered a discount for that, so you can learn more about that. Then Wednesday of this coming week, I'm going to be talking with the EGS Grading Company. So EGS, I don't know if you're aware of them or not, but they are one of the 4 American grading companies, and they're the ones that do the custom labels for every book. You might have seen some around, but I'm going to be talking to him about his grading company. I'm hoping to get some kind of discount code just in case you're going to want to check them out on a book for your PC or something like that. So be sure to hit that bell notification again so you don't miss any of the content that we're dropping. Also, as if that wasn't enough, be sure that you've gone and seen the 900 subscriber giveaway announcement video, in which case, if you are 18 years or older, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on that video, and comment on that video that I will end. Then you can be entered to win this when we hit 900 subscribers. So not sure when that's going to be. Subscribers ebb and flow. We've been kind of stuck in the 850-ish area for a while now. So, if you can help out with that, that will get us closer to giving this away. And then I'm going to be giving something else away for the 1,000 subscriber, which is going to be a huge book. Huge book. Don't know from the standpoint of rarity. It's probably not going to be an X-Men 4, right? That I gave away for my other one. But as far as value is concerned, it's up there with that low grade X-Men 4. What time is the auction tomorrow? It is 1 p.m. Central Time. 1 p.m. Central Time. So that means it is 11 a.m. Central Time for you. So when John gets off of his morning chat with the girls, if he can get them up, if he'll put the bagels up under their nose and get them up to talk about some comics, about the time that you get off will be about the time that the auction will be starting. So there is that. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you an announcement before we get out of here, but just because that is a reward, if you will, that you heard it here first because you stuck around this long, and that is what the 1,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be. So the 1,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be a Wolverine #1 9.8 banana cover. So as it's known, it's the yellow negative space variant cover that was done at C2E2. I will be giving away one of those for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So the sooner we get there, the sooner you're going to have an opportunity to win that book and some more. That's how we do it. And so that is going to be out there. So I would appreciate you sharing the channel out on the Instagrams and everywhere else. Then that book is going to be and you heard it here first. I haven't made a video announcing that yet because we haven't even hit the 900 subscribers yet. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to be doing. And so that will be good. What's going on, Nosh? Nosh, did I see you get that Hulk statue the other day? I think I saw you unboxing it on Instagram. I'd seen that particular statue advertised on Instagram before, but yeah, I think that was you that was on there. So but appreciate every one of you for hanging out. Smash the like button, subscribe button, bell notification, you know the drill. Yep, that was him. Y'all go check Nosh out over on the IGs. He doesn't do much right now on YouTube, but he is certainly on Instagram. But yeah, so until next time, keep reading.